Welcome back to Damaged by Design. In this video we're going to be going through the history of Mammoth Cave and some of the local lore and mythology surrounding it. So grab yourself a flashlight and maybe a map and let's get into it. Mammoth Cave in Kentucky is a very unique cave system, and it's said to be the largest in the world. It's also one of America's earliest tourist attractions. Caves have intrigued humans forever, ever since our earliest ancestors lived inside them. But this place, it seems beautiful, on the surface at least, but something sinister could be hiding within. The underground maze known as Mammoth Cave contains no actual mammoth remains. In fact, the name itself just refers to the sheer size of the entrance and the dwellings within it. The geology of Mammoth Cave is quite unique. It was formed from limestone and covered with a layer of sandstone rock, which has kept it stable for all of these years. And the caves, which are at least 400 miles long that we know of, were formed, they like to say, over 300 million years ago. And because of the system's long labyrinth of natural tunnels and winding mazes, it's taken over a century for us to explore them. Cave enthusiasts have constantly discovered new passageways and remarkable geological wonders within this place. Some discoveries, however, are better left unfound. Caves have always indicated that something is going on way beneath the surface, under our feet. Caves are instigators of magic, actions and revelations. Caves can be used as metaphors for the human imagination and have been for a long time. These things are prominent in Greek mythology, as well as being birthplace for certain deities and homes for seers and prisons for even horrifying creatures. Some people like to think even magical havens for loved ones. But what's so special about Mammoth Cave? Well, for over 200 years now, the cave has inspired writers, artists, poets to make things such as short stories and novels, even videos like this one. Things that captured the imagination. And even today, descriptions of the star chamber within the cave, the descriptions are as spectacular as the real thing. And tour guides will have people turn off their lights, their flashlights, so that they can look up and see the illusion of a starry night sky above them. The Mammoth Cave, however, isn't all that it seems. It pays host to some incredibly troubling stories that terrify believers in the supernatural, and even skeptics. Let me know what side of the fence that you're on by the end of this video. The world's longest known system is filled with picturesque landscapes, mysteries, and even apparently some former visitors who have decided to stay long after they've passed on. Ghost stories go hand in hand with dark caves, and some of these stories are more credible than others. One story, however, is absolutely true, and it may cause you to reconsider your next visit to these caves. See, while many people get a rush of adrenaline when they enter the darkness of unfamiliar territory, many other people are shaken to their very core by the thought of being lost in some kind of an unknown abyss. But since its confirmed discovery in local lore in the 1700s, Mammoth Cave has been the place of terror and excitement. According to folklore, two brothers were being pursued by a bear that they injured while they were out hunting. And while they were trying to escape the bear, they stumbled across the cave's entrance. And even if it is just a tall tale, It's confirmed by written records that the salt pepper mining within the cave, this began in 1798, which is just 1 year later than the account of the two brothers. And up until around 1812, when the discovery of a Native American mummy was found nearby, this then changed the course of the events. The salt, pepper and calcium mining continued to deplete the cave, and to encourage more tourists to come and visit the area, mining was reduced. The site was turned entirely into a tourist attraction by 1838, and fortunately for future generations, the network of tunnels were mapped out and given names so that the tourists and future explorers could navigate these mazes more easily. But these tours, however, didn't last too long, because in 1839 the property, which had Mammoth Cave within, was purchased and considered to be used as a tuberculosis treatment centre. Patients were simply told to get some fresh air, some light exercise during this period. You see, tuberculosis had no cure, so the idea that patients were told to get some fresh air and light exercise was thought up, and doctors persuaded at least several patients that living underground deep within the cave could actually cure their terminal disease. The theory was that the cool air would alleviate the symptoms, if not maybe even cure them. And as you might expect, he wasn't successful. Many huts were built deep inside the caves for the patients to stay in. 5 patients, however, died inside the cave, and others died shortly after returning above ground. And then in 1849, the cave's attraction to tourists reopened once again. Unknown to many are the patients who died underground, right there where they now venture. And even today, there are accounts from tour guides and visitors who they hear coughing and murmuring from near the hospital's location. And although the doctors intended to help these desperate patients, the outcome was rather unfortunate. I mean, we can only imagine what those who died within the caves must have gone through. It's no surprise that the cave has the reputation that it does. The amount of suffering that must have gone on within its walls, with more than 400 miles of corridors and very few natural openings. Exploration of this cave is currently still ongoing, and this spectacular natural wonder has more than its fair share of spine-chilling legends, with over 400 miles of darkness and a history that dates back to the late 1700s at least. An 1858 issued magazine was the publication where on one tale in particular gained widespread attention. The story continues by describing a young woman who abandoned her lover to perish in the depths of the cave, in hopes that a night out with him would prompt him to express his affections for her. She had fallen for him. She loved him. However, he had love for another local woman, and this infuriated her. So after leading this man further into the cave, she quickly turned around and disappeared, leaving him there in the shadows. She chuckled as she emerged out from the cave. She walked away from him and his cries just as he had left her heartbroken. The fate that awaited him was something we're unable to imagine. His friends and family later found his body after days and days of looking. Haunted by the guilt of her crime and the sound of him calling out her name. This was 15 years after the reported incident. She returned back to the cave, she walked into the darkness and she let the cave swallow her, in the hopes of maybe coming across his soul, which was allegedly still trapped there. If so, who knows, maybe they're looking for a way out of that darkness together. Maybe they're not alone. You see, many people claim to have heard a young man screaming hysterically for a woman within these caves. They say that they can't make out the name due to the distance and the echoes. But who knows, perhaps one night the two wandering souls will cross paths. And if so, maybe, I like to think that they're looking for a way out of this place together, not being alone in the darkness. Mammoth Cave has many stories to tell and many secrets to reveal. We can't hope to understand the amount of emotional and psychological energy that has existed within this system over the years. It's the largest cave system that we know of, and perhaps we are better off not understanding it fully at all. It does, however, raise the question, just what exactly does lie within Mammoth Cave? Is it something evil or something benevolent? Is it something supernatural or something that is easily explainable? Some people like to think that this place leads even further within our realm, within our earth, further deep under our feet. The locals hold Mammoth Cave in a certain regard for certain reasons, so we can't completely ignore it, but are the accounts from the visitors also possibly influenced by culture? Who knows? Only time will reveal the mysteries of the darkness within Mammoth Cave. But for now, I'd recommend that this isn't a place for the faint-hearted to visit. If you've enjoyed the video, let me know. Throw me a comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for stopping by. And until next time, it's goodbye from Damaged by Design.